Tragedy has struck after the first month of my no-buy year. Do you see this? This is YSL's Black Opium. This is a travel size. I only used it twice and it fell this morning and broke, and now my carpet smells like Black Opium, and because it's my no-buy year, I cannot replace it. Tragedy. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Yeah, it was a little dramatic because I am very, very sad about the tragedy that happened, and I also just realized I didn't do anything to my brows, but that's fine. I usually prefer actually the way I look when I don't do my brows, but then I'm also get self-conscious about my little scar, but that's without the point. Hello. So you're not here to hear about that, you're here to hear how I did on my first month. So I started my no-buy year December 1st officially, and January 1st was my first month, and I have to say I've done pretty well so far. I have bought stuff, but they are in replacements, and I will get into a little bit that later. So yeah, I did do a couple of gift purchases for others, which is one of the exceptions of my no-buy year in December. Of course, it's the holiday season. So I want to say buying gifts for others could have helped the fact that I wasn't very interested in buying other things. And then I did go spend the holidays with my family, and they don't live where I live. They live in Arizona. And the first thing I always do when my mom picks me up, we always go to the mall for some reason, just because my mom lives with a bunch of boys now and she doesn't have much time for shopping. And we went, and it was part of my Christmas present, but I only really liked one sweater that I have worn in other videos. Actually, it's in the last couple of videos that I wore. It's like this not this turquoise, it's like this teal sweater. It's from Free People, and that's the only thing I really bought. And I didn't really buy it, my mom bought it, so it was a gift from her, so I don't really count it. But when we were at the mall, I have to say, like, I just was not very interested in anything. Like, my mom kept asking, like, oh, well, like, do you want to go here, do you want to go there? Like, we went to stores and I was like not interested. We even went to Ulta because she needed some brow products, and she asked me like, oh, like, do you want anything? Like, I'll buy you something. I'm like, no, like, I don't really need anything, which is like an interesting mindset, because usually like I'd be like, oh my god, I don't have to spend money on this, let me just buy like anything and everything because I don't have to pay for it. But I think a lot of it has to play. So 2018, I did really focus on shopping a lot less, and it was also like, when it comes to like makeup and skincare wise, it was a year that I'm just like, I don't have like a crazy amount like these people who get like constantly sent PR, or even people who don't get sent PR. There's quite a few of us in the Project Panning community, and not necessarily in the Project Panning community either, a little bit outside, smaller YouTubers that do have a lot of makeup, and you know, I may not have as much as them anymore, but I don't have an interest in buying anymore because I'm more afraid of not being able to get to the products that I do have before they go bad, and then that essentially being a waste of money. And that's kind of a mindset I've talked about having for a while, so I think that plays a big role in not being interested in buying like new products that go bad. And while I was in Arizona, my parents have a spare bedroom that essentially would be my bedroom if I ever went to Arizona to finish my schooling, which is kind of like a last resort sort of thing, because my boyfriend is in California, my life is in California, my friends, like, we grew up like here, so my whole life is here, my job is here, family, friends. So when I was in Arizona, I was slept in what would have been like my room, which is also used as like a guest room. It has a couple of like my things, like fancy dresses that I don't use, like prom dresses and all that stuff. And I was kind of thinking, like, if I were to move back, I'd only be able to bring like a 16th of my things. Like, my desk that I've had like since I was a child wouldn't even fit in that room, let alone the dressers. The two dressers I have filled with clothing wouldn't fit in that room, and the closet like is only half of the size, and none of that, like, so I don't know why ever since I've came back I've kind of been like having anxiety over it, because the fact that I could move to Arizona is a possibility for like a year or two. And you know, I know for a fact that I currently live with my grandparents. I know for a fact that I wouldn't be able to keep things in this room because they're gonna get another exchange student in here so they can, you know, their own stuff. And I don't know why I've like been in a panic such thing that I'm like, I don't want to buy anything else. So yeah, I did break a perfume and I'm really sad about it. And although like dream wise I would like to repurchase it, even though I can't because I didn't get to use it. And that's the thing that like bugs me the most. It broke and I didn't get to use it, and now like my carpet smells like that. And then anyways, but when that broke this morning, although I was sad, I was just like, oh, you know, I can't buy it because it's my no buy year, and if I had to move, like that'd be one more thing to move with. It's like one less thing to move with now that it's broken, even though I didn't get to use it. And I don't know why I'm like, now I have this anxiety of like, I'm gonna have to get rid of a lot of my things or use up a lot of my things if, you know, it came to the point where I would have to move. So I'm kind of like, well, in the sense like I am living with this anxiety right now that is unnecessary because I like to think of the future and plan of the future. At the same time, it's kind of like pulling me back into like the no buy year because I'm not allowed to buy anything except for my 3 exceptions that I said at my intro, which is a car that is going to take me a while to save up for, a Chanel bag, which is what I really want, and Seoul, but I don't think Seoul is going to happen anymore, which is another thing I'm going to get into, so like a different trip or whatever. So yeah, I keep looking at things like, okay, what am I not using? What can I get rid of? What can I sell? Etc, etc. And I'm just constantly looking now, even though like I don't find anything like this instant because I've gotten rid of everything, which I'll also make a video of like probably right after this. I've gotten rid of things this instant that I feel like I don't necessarily need anymore, so that's that. But I'm sure like as the year progresses, like I'll find more things that I haven't used and I will do completely fine without. So that is that. But in regards to actually like going to the stores and stuff, there's not very much that tempts me anymore. I think I've started making a list of what has like really tempted me to like almost break my no buy, and so far that has been one thing, and that is a black tweed jacket. And I think like for a week I really wanted it, and I was like on the verge of buying it, but I was like, no, it's your no buy year. If you do it now, you'll fail. Or like you can't like, not fail, but you can't like break it so far into it. And then after a week that like, well, I would still want it. I think this was exactly before I went to Arizona. And then after Arizona and I came back and I'm looking at all my things, like the desire for that went away because I don't have room for it. Like I do have room for it here, but then it's just like one extra thing. But if I ever had to move anywhere, like I wouldn't want to move with all the things that I have, and that's why I've really been in a kick of like really getting rid of like things that I don't necessarily need. So there is that. That would be the one thing that I really wanted. Although I did buy, technically it's stationery, but technically it's not like for fun stationery. I'll show you what I got. So I have a notepad. I used to have like this one notepad on my desk, and I use that notepad for work because it's just easier to take down notes there, or if I needed to do a to-do list, like it was big enough than like a sticky note per se. And I finally ran out of it, and I'm just like, well, I don't have anything else, so I did buy a new notepad, and this is super cute. Like, hello, it's cute. It just says notes, and it will get used. It's not something, if I ever moved, I would probably go through this pretty quick because again, I use it for work, I use it for my day-to-day life, and yeah, so it's kind of like my to-do list, and you know, it's paper, I recycle it. And this one was really cute. And I also bought one notebook. It's up there, so I'm not gonna get it. It's like with my other stuff, and that's specifically for school. It is a cute notebook. Did I really have to buy a cute notebook? No, but this notebook is for a class that's going to be 3.5 hours long, twice a week. So I was like, all right, might as well, like, I allowed myself to purchase a little bit of a prettier notebook, which is just a couple dollars more. Like, it's not that big of a deal to me if it's gonna help me like enjoy the class a little bit more. And that's usually like what my mentality is. Like, if I have cute like things to do school work in, it'll help me like get through it. Because I mean, who wants to sit in like a lecture for 3.5 hours twice a week for a whole semester? I don't think anybody does. So if I have a cute notebook, my mentality is it'll make it a little less painful. So, and I said I can buy stuff for school, so that was okay. So in regards to that, like, that is the only stuff I've bought. And because I have bought it, I kind of feel like I have broken my note buy, but I haven't exactly, because it was an exception. I also placed an order at Ulta, which is supposed to be arriving today, which I didn't know if I wanted to talk about it in this update or in my next one, because technically it counts as my second month of my no buy year, but since I'm doing the video now, I'm going to talk about it now. And that's to replace items, and that's why I kind of feel like, well, I technically bought stuff on my no buy year, but it is technically one of the exceptions, or yeah, an exception of it, because I only have about like 2 more uses left in my night cream, so I bought a replacement, just because I feel like if I don't know, I don't want to go out in person and like try it, so I did order it online, because I feel like if I go in person, at least one of the problems that I've been having, I'll stay in the store for an hour and not come out with anything, because I'll be like, is it really worthy, is it not worthy? And then an hour of my time is wasted, and then I'd be at the mall and I'd have the mentality, well, let's look around, because I didn't just come all the way out here to not leave with anything. At least that's what my mentality has been. So to avoid that, I did just order one that I knew that worked for me. And I also ordered a mascara, because the mascara that I'm currently using is on its last leg, so I just decided to order that together and just be done with it. So didn't technically break my no buy, but because I've bought stuff, even though it's like in my exception, I do feel like in a way it's broken, but it's not really broken. And I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but I think because like what I wanted to do is not buy like anything, nothing, but it's stuff that I need. So in that sense, that was the exception. But I guess in my mind, I wanted to see like how long like I had to go without buying anything. But alas, even though I still technically consider this all happened in the second month, because it was after January 1st, it is going into this update of like my first month, because technically from December 1st and January 1st I was fine. I didn't really buy anything. So yeah. In regards to a trip, I really like want to make a trip. Whether Seoul happens or doesn't happen, I just really want to go somewhere. And for work, like in December, they're very generous. It's kind of like thank you for everything in the year. And so we had our holiday party, and they have like a bunch of like different prizes and raffles and all of that stuff. And I ended up winning one of the prizes, which was a $200 like Southwest Airlines gift card, which I know isn't like a lot. It depends on where you really want to go, but like I want to go to, I wanted to go to Hawaii, but they don't, Southwest doesn't go to Hawaii, but I've really been wanting to go to New York. And while the gift card doesn't cover all of like the round trip New York, it covers the New York ticket. It does cover like a big chunk of it, like more than half of it. And so I'm just like very tempted to like plan a New York trip. So I'm very tempted, and it's very nice that I have that gift card. And even if like a trip doesn't happen, I can use that gift card to visit my family more. Like that is, if I book it way in advance, that is twice I can go to see my family in Arizona and not have to worry about paying for a ticket, like an airplane ticket. So that's very nice to have, and I'm very grateful to have it. So that's something I've been thinking of. Also, a possible trip that might happen is I could potentially go to Portugal in the summer. My boyfriend's family is going to Portugal because they're Portuguese in the summertime, and it kind of, I know like the whole family on that side, and like I speak to them and I see them often, and it's quite possible that I'm invited to go if I can pay for the cost of it. So instead of like a solo trip, that could definitely happen. And yeah, that's exciting. So I'd have to like save for it. I don't know if like the invitation's quite there. Everyone makes it seem like there's an invitation there if I can afford it. Like some people have already bought their tickets. My boyfriend's family hasn't quite decided if they're going yet, and that's like a very determinant factor of whether I go or not. Like I know the cousins, their cousins are going, and I'm very close to the cousins. Well, I'm very close to one of the cousins, and you know, I'm on good terms with the other one because it's just two. So I guess once it's the issue is because it's once they decide it's final for them, which could be from now till whatever they decide, like May, June, whatever. Like they have the money up front to pay for it. I, on the other hand, do not. So I don't know if it's something I should start like saving for. I mean, I'm just saving money in general because realistically speaking, I'm not spending money, but I don't know if specifically I should make like another sinking fund or budget for that, because what I've been doing is whenever I get my paycheck, I split it up, like how much money am I, like I'm throwing a certain amount to my credit card, I'm throwing a certain amount to like my Chanel fund, I'm throwing a certain amount to my car fund, I'm throwing a certain amount to like my emergency / general fund, and then I have all of these other sinking funds which includes like car maintenance, like I'm gonna have to change the tire soon, or an oil change, or like whatever. So I started saving, putting money aside, so whenever that happens, like I have money like ready to go for that. I have like a beauty sinking fund, and that's like replacements or haircuts, or when I get my eyelashes permed, or if I want like a mani-pedi, like that's what that goes to. What else do I have? I have like the short trip fund, which would be visiting my boyfriend because we are long distance, or visiting my parents because that's technically a short trip that doesn't cost too much, but I mean it does cost money, so I have that money saved up for when I go. I have fun events like going going bowling, going to the movies, going ice skating. Like I have a little fund for that one. A food fund, and that's basically it. Those are like the 5 funds, because anything else is counted in my emergency / general fund, which I guess would be considered my checking account. So that's how I've been splitting up my paychecks up, and it's been working out really well for me, and I know where my money is, and I know where it's going to, and I know how much amount I have in each category, so I'm not very worried about like, where's my money going? Like I have like certain money for everything, and that's where I know. If that makes sense, that's where I know like where it is / where it's going when I need to take money out of those things. So that's all of that stuff. I'm just kind of like speaking what's been on my mind lately. Another big expense that I'm going to be cutting out after September is the Disney annual pass. I am a pass holder. This is my 2nd year being a pass holder, and last year, my first year that I got it, I believe the pass that I had was like, which is still a lot of money, I know it is, it was like $636, which I was like, okay, like I could do that, like it's worth it if like I go once a month, and I always go once a month to like get my money's worth out of the pass and all of that stuff. And then last year in February, I believe the prices went up to like 7, like on the lower end, I think it might have been like $709, something like that. And so my pass expired in August, and because I was gone all of August, what am I saying, August, so weird, I don't know, it's probably because I'm still sounding a little sick, but I'm not sick, it's just kind of like that little remnant. So my pass expired in August, and before it expired, I went to go see if like they honor like whatever like price you paid for the pass was to still stay, and they didn't. I had to like pay like the difference, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna be gone in August, so I'm not going to renew my pass then. And then in September I did renew, like get a new pass, the same one, so I had to pay like $709, and I was like, ouch, that hurts, but you know, if we're going once a month, I still get my money's worth out of it. Sometimes I go more than once a month. It just depends on what I'm doing. The only difference is that because they're opening Star Wars Land or whatever, like I'm blocked out like I think the whole first month, which is fine because I wouldn't want to go and it's that packed anyways. And then they block out weekends in the summer, which again, I don't have an issue with because they're super packed and it's really miserable to be at the park. And then I found out that a couple days ago, they raised everything again. They raised parking, they raised like getting the Max Pass option, which is like the Fast Pass thing that they do on the phone, so you don't actually have to go to like the rides Fast Pass thing, and like it basically saves you a lot of like walking time and like wasting around like just going to different things that you want a Fast Pass for. You could just do it all on the phone, and then it also includes like pictures and stuff. So I thought, like, when it used to be $10, everything went up by $5, but everything, like, parking went up by $5, Max Passes went up by $5, and I'm like, wow, that's really ridiculous. And then also, tickets and the annual pass went up. So the annual pass that I have went from $636 the first time I had it to like $709, and now it's $799. And I'm just like, what the actual flippin' frick? I wanted to cuss, but I'm not going to because I know I have young viewers. And I was really mad about it because I'm like, what the heck? Like people, I know people are still gonna pay the amount to go because it's Disney, and Disney knows this. Disney knows that even if they raise their prices, the same amount of people are still gonna go. But you know what? I'm not gonna renew it. I have a lot more things I'd rather do with that money than keep paying. I mean, nothing's really changing. Like, I'm still gonna experience like Star Wars Land because my pass doesn't expire till Saturday. But you know what? I think I'll be fine not going to Disney for like a couple of years. Like, tickets went up, everything went up, and I'm just like, you know, I can't, you know, maybe one day when I have like an actual career and I'm making more money, I'll be like, all right, it's time to like do like a Disney pass again. And I'm okay like not renewing it for it. I'm not gonna pay $800. I'm not, because that means it's basically the price of like a single ticket-ish. I mean, not really, but it's like, if I'm going once a month, that means like for the first 8 months that I go, or the first 8 times, it's like $100 like a time, and that's not worth it to me anymore. So I mean, I guess that's something like I don't have to account for, and like I don't have something to save up for the whole year, so it doesn't hurt when I have to renew, because I'm not gonna renew it. I've had 2 years worth of, or I'm gonna have 2 years worth of fun at Disney, and I think that's all I need to be satisfied for now. I'm sure one day I'll want to have it again, but like, what if I do move back to Arizona? There'd be no point in renewing because I want to be here, so that's completely fine with me. And I just wanted to say that, which I know it's not, I mean, it's an expense that I have, and an expense that I don't want to do anymore. So yeah, I mean, I think that's everything for my first month update. I can't really think of anything else, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. So yeah, that's my update. If you're doing a no buy year, how did you do? Oh, well, I guess a lot of people started their no buy year like in January, so I guess I can't really say like much about it. But if you started like before, like I did in December 1st, because I was like, that's crazy, I'm not gonna wait a whole month just to start this when I can start this now, because then I'm gonna be spending like for a whole month and then be like, all right, now I'm ready. Like, no, we start it now, because the money that you could save then when I was started on December 1st is like a lot. Like, I could spend a lot of money in a month before January 1st, which is when a lot of people started, which is why I decided December 1st, that's when I'm doing it, because I don't want to waste a month of like potentially spending stuff if I could start saving then and now. So yeah, that's all for now, and I'll see you guys all in my next one. Bye!